Hello, what's up guys, it's Kyle from KGR doing a review on the Nendoroid Sonic. Now some of you are probably all like, Kyle, I thought you already had this figure, and that is correct. I've had this figure for quite a few years actually. But since my reviews, at least the format, has gotten much better over the years, and plus the fact that it's the 25th anniversary for Sonic, I might as well do a re-review. And I also want to do some reviews of some of my older figures that I haven't touched in forever, because my format has gotten better, and I think this is a great figure to start off with. And unfortunately, genuine ones are few and far between, so I will be giving you a good heads up on how to try to find a genuine one later in the review, if I remember. I really hope I remember. I don't have a script, and that's kind of bad. But anyway, let's get into this figure, and I'm probably going to ramble a bit about how much this figure means to me and stuff. Without rambling too much, this is the figure that got me into serious figure collecting, so yeah, this is my baby. This is actually my favorite figure out of my whole shelf. But anyway, let's get into the figure itself. So when this figure came out, it was the 20th anniversary for Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic Generations was coming out, and I was looking figures up, and I was looking up mainly the 20th anniversary figures, and I saw this, at least some prototypes for the figure. And I thought it was going to be a figure from Jazzwares. I thought it was like a Sonic Adventure Sonic, because it was still chubby, but it still had the green eyes and the shoes and stuff. But no, this is a whole new figure that I had never heard of before. And then I got more into these kind of figures, so that's why I have a problem now. But yeah, I started off with this. In fact, I actually started with a bootleg version because there was no info online about bootleg versions of the figure. So I ended up being the first on YouTube to get a fake one. And that is somewhat what got me discovered on YouTube, and I helped out a lot of people. This is a genuine figure. Genuine figures are very hard to come by now because they stopped printing these figures, and trying to find a genuine one is going to cost you about $90 to $100, somewhere around there. It used to be about $50. Well, luckily I got mine back when I was like $50, and after I got it, the price dropped down to like $30-some for like 2 or 3 days, and then it went back up again. I'm like, ugh, okay. So Yes. I didn't pay too much for this figure. I was paying around what it normally went for when I got mine, so I didn't get ripped off. So I'm really happy about that. So enough of me rambling. Let's get into the figure itself. Now, as you can tell, it's going for I don't know the proper word to go for. But here, okay, Nendoroids are short, chibi figures. Okay, and when it comes to Sonic, doing it for the 20th anniversary was perfect because of Sonic Generations coming out, so it felt like a good mixture between of the classic Sonic and the modern Sonic. When you see reviews of this figure, you always hear that. So that's pretty much me saying that again. So anyway, as you can tell, the figure looks absolutely gorgeous. When it comes to Good Smile Company, like whether it be Figma, Nendoroid, or even their pre-painted figures as a whole, like their statues, the paint jobs are mostly beautiful. Like sometimes they'll screw up, but when it comes to Sonic, it's a very simplistic figure, like nothing too crazy when it comes to design, so it's not hard to screw up, and they did a beautiful job on this figure. Like I absolutely love the design of this character. Oh my god, like I even loved drawing Sonic when I was in high school. Seriously, I had a problem. I drew all over the school, and in fact those drawings are still up today, because I had friends that are younger than me and still told me, hey Kyle, your Sonics are still all over the school. I'm like, yes. But anyway, enough of my high school story. The figure's great. Some like to call this one of the best Sonic figures out there. Some want to stick to the Resource Sonic figure as the best, which by the way, I'm getting those really soon. I'm super excited, and I can barely afford it, but I really wanted it because I found a steal. It was like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, all genuine for less than $60. I'm like, oh my god, yes. I think Amy has the smallest chance. Not smallest chance. Amy has the biggest chance of being the bootleg, but we're not talking about Resource. We're talking about this figure. This is why you're here. That, and some of you probably want to watch this review again. But anyway, welcome to the review. Okay, so let's get into the articulation. I'm sorry about me rambling. It's what I do. But anyway, when it comes to the articulation, it's a Nendoroid. Nendoroids don't have too crazy articulation. Sometimes they have elbow and knee bends, but unfortunately, this is not the case. So this is a rather old figure. It came out about 5 years ago. Actually, the number on it is 214. I don't know what number they're on now, but look it up and go on Good Smiles Company, see what number they're on now, and you can see how far back they really went. Like the box design should just tell you everything. I'm not going to pull out the box because my box is a little bit crushed because the cats suck. But anyway, when it comes to articulation, he's relatively simple. Normally, Figmas have like the Figma joints and it makes them famous a little bit. While with Nendoroids, they're mostly famous for their ball hinges because it's pretty much mostly what they use, that and swivels. Alright, so when it comes to the neck, it is a ball hinge, and in fact they have specific ball hinges where it has a little smiley face on it. So it can go forward and back on a swivel, and then it can go left and right. But it does try to act as a ball joint. You can reposition it so you can make his head go sideways if you want to, but it does require a little bit of effort, and I don't feel like doing that, but that's an option for you. Alright, for the shoulders, we also just got swivels, and they do pop out relatively easy. And this is a figure that this is, like, if you want to get this for kids, it's going to fall apart on them really easily. So this is probably not a good choice for something to play with. But for something that kids want to be artistic with, try to pose them around and try to make new expressions and poses and stuff like that. And make a little photo shoot, then this is a great figure for them. But anyway, I'll get to those kind of details at the end of the review. At the wrist, it's a ball hinge again, but much smaller, and they're all on the little hands. Anyway, and they pop off on and off really easily. It might get annoying if you're trying to actually play with it, but if you're just handling it around like this, you'll be just fine. Alright, when it comes to the legs, you can already probably tell it's a ball hinge. Go forward and back, and turn it if you want to. But here at the ankles, they are ball pegs, not ball pegs, they're just ball joints, but you can't really do too much. Like, it rocks a little bit. Which, fun fact, on the prototype for this figure, here the sock cuffs were actually loose pieces, so you would have more dynamic range for doing poses for him, but they just decided to stick it to the shoe because I guess they didn't want people to lose the sock cuffs, I guess. Or if you were trying to do some poses where the leg would be up, the sock cuff would slide down, like, to his knee, and that would be a no-go. So, unfortunately, they just stuck it to that. But having the sock cuff as a loose piece was a cool idea on paper, I'm not gonna lie, because there are some pictures online where you can see how it's a separate piece. And even on the box, you could actually see that as a separate piece. But unfortunately, for the final product, they dramatically changed it. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. Like, as you can tell, yeah, there's not really too much to it, but it's still a brilliant figure. I absolutely love this thing. Like, this is probably one of my favorite Sonic figures of all time. Like, that and the Joyride Sonic, mainly because the Joyride Sonic has special shoes. Like, I hate bendy figures as a whole, but I love the shoes on that figure. But this is my favorite Sonic figure of all time. But let's get into the accessories. Sonic has a crap ton of accessories. Nendoroids as a whole always have great accessories. It's what they're known for. So, one of the accessories that Sonic comes with is this item capsule. And this item capsule, I'm not gonna lie, is one of the coolest accessories for a Sonic figure, because you've never seen this before. As you can tell, it is empty. What's really cool is here you can take it apart. You take off the cap, and you pull off these little pieces of plastic, and you have two rubber pieces right here, which, by the way, I love that sticker right there. That's so cool. Anyway, you see this little rubber piece right in there. You can actually replace it, like, you can replace, like, little, like different items in there. It's so cool. So let me show off what all you got. First up, we got ourselves a 1-Up, and this is based off Sonic Generations as well. So that's pretty. In fact, it's not just Generations. Even Sonic Lost World went with this design too. And who knows, maybe Project 2017 might go with it too. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We also got Speed Up, but for the past few years, Sonic hasn't been using this all that much. But in this new Sonic game, he better, because he needs them. He needs to go fast. We also got the Bubble Shield, which, again, Sonic hasn't used too much recently. But hey, it's a cool item, isn't it? Invincibility. And 20 rings. I wonder how many people on YouTube accidentally called it 20 coins. We also got this checkpoint accessory, which is actually really, really cool. I love the accessories in this set so freaking much. And what's really cool is here, if you want to go for a classic look instead of having the Sonic Adventure-esque checkpoints, you can also pull these off and have it so it's just one standing up. Or if you want to make it look like how he just walked past a checkpoint, you could do that as well. So you can pull them both off, and there you go. We also got two little display stands to hold up the Chaos Emerald and the ring. Now, the Chaos Emerald, it's a really great accessory. It also fits in Sonic's hand really well. I'll show it off later in the end of the review. He holds on to it pretty well. That's all you need to know. And the detail and the sculpt on it, the cut is beautiful. Like, I love the way they molded this. This is a beautiful Chaos Emerald. Unfortunately, he does only come with one, but you don't need all 7 because then you're going to be all disappointed because you don't have a Supersonic figure. Also got the ring. Now, the ring does look nice, don't get me wrong, but I kind of wish they would have went with a more gold chrome design instead of a yellow ring. But it still looks great, nevertheless. But it's weird because Resource and even Jazzwares went with a gold chrome design for their rings. I kind of bit on my tongue, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, they went for a chrome design, while with Nendoroid they just stuck with, you know, standard yellow paint. So it almost looks kind of cheap, kind of more like Jakks Pacific, to be honest. But it still looks great. Sonic does also come with 2 extra faces. As you can tell, the face that he has right now is pretty much him not looking forward at all. He's looking more to the right and with a little smiley face, and my camera does not want to focus at all. There we go, that looks pretty. And if you want to remove the face, all you gotta do is just pretty much pull from the bottom, and do not really pull from his nose because that's a terrible idea because it's like kind of like glued in. It's not really sculpted on, so it's gonna pop off. So anyway, yeah, it comes off like this, and looking at Sonic without a face is freaking terrifying. And by the way, if you want to know that you have a genuine figure, if you see one loose at a convention or something, my bad for hitting the camera, but if you see one loose in like a convention or something, see if you can pull off the face and stuff like that. If the face, like behind here, if it's white, that means it's genuine, but if it's all blue, that means it's a bootleg. But anyway, I love how these little faces are I like how these are made. These are really cool. This is a great idea. Anyway, you also have the face where he's looking more down and he has a little smirk as well. And then you also got a face where he's looking straight at you, more serious and stuff. And by the way, look at this. This is like the most adorable way to look at Sonic, like straight on. Like look at it. It's so cute. Also, another fun fact when it comes to Sonic's design, not just the figure, but I mean Sonic as a whole, when it comes to all Sonic figures. Here, if you look at him straight on with one eye, it doesn't look like his quills don't really come out all that much. But if you look at him with both eyes, the quills look like they come out more, more to the sides. It's just the way your eyes work. But it's something that I noticed when I was younger, and I'm like, oh my god, this is really cool. When it comes to his hands, you can already tell he has these open palms right here that look really great. He also comes with a set of fists. He also has 2 other hands, mainly for the right hand, which is probably a great way to say, hey, he also has a bent arm, and we're going to be showing him off with this arm, because he actually has them, bent up. He also has the pointing fingers, so he can wave it, like in the classic days. And we also got the thumbs up. Unless Sonic's not happy or doesn't like you, then he'll give you a thumbs down. And for all those haters out there, he will find you, and he will kill you. He also does have a bent leg, specifically made for the right leg, but if you want to put it on the left, it will still fit. It's just the only problem is here, you're going to see this smiley face on the joint sticking out, but that's pretty much your only issue. It fits either way. And like all other Nendoroids, they also come with a little display stand that you can plug in pretty much any part of this, except for these 4 right here. For some reason, they're just too big. And why they put them there and not make them fit right, I don't know, and it irritates me. But you can either use the outer ones or the center one. That is a con when it comes to this figure. Why do that? I like how it's also branded specifically to Sega. You can't use Nintendo Nendoroids on here. Oh, no. Well, actually, they kind of really don't fit all that well. It's odd. But, no. Only Sonic or other Sega-related characters that they might make in the future. So overall, what are my thoughts on this figure? I honestly love a lot about this figure. I love the fact that he's not even top-heavy either. Like most Sonic figures nowadays are extremely top-heavy, and the way they pulled it off is brilliant. They didn't even make the head hollow or anything. It's a very solid head. It does not feel cheap at all. It's beautiful. And the shoes, they're kind of hollow, I'm not going to lie. But somehow they pulled it off to actually make him not top heavy. You almost don't need to stand unless you want to do some decent running poses. I love how it caters to both classic and modern fans, how it's pretty much a mixture of the two. I love the way how he holds on to his poses, and he does kind of fall apart easily, so that's kind of a small gripe, but it's a Nendoroid, you gotta expect that pretty much for all of them. But I love this Sonic figure way too much. The paint is beautiful, the accessories are great. It is overall don't want to say it's the perfect Sonic figure because I don't like the fact how it doesn't have elbow joints or knee joints. Like, it's not as posable as other Sonic figures, but when it comes to bang for your buck, this is excellent. At least when it first came out. Now it's like $100. I'm not sure if it's worth $100 to you unless you really want to pay that much for a genuine figure. However, there are a few gripes with the figure, like nothing too much, it's mainly nitpicking. Like, as you can tell on camera, you can see how the belly and the muzzle are a different tone of, like, skin tone, I guess, compared to the arms. Like, on camera, it's so easy to tell, but when you have the figure in real life, you really can't really tell that much, so it is kind of a nitpick, and also nitpicking the fact that it doesn't have any other like posable joints because it's a Nendoroid and not a typical Sonic figure. But that's pretty much it. Like, and I also don't like the fact how they're not very that common anymore, but it's not Good Smile's fault. Like, the bootlegs are all over the place, so if you want to get this figure, at least if you want a genuine one, you're gonna have to pay a hefty price. But if you do want a figure, like how should I say this, if you're getting this for a kid, like, I don't want to say anything around like 15 or anything, like if anything younger than that, like if they heard of this figure and like, you're broke or for some reason, getting a bootleg, to be honest, it's not too bad. Like, you can get a bootleg one for like 20 bucks, and it does come with all the accessories and everything. Just make sure they don't eat it, because it's probably going to be made out of lead paint. Like, the accessories, like, if you look at this, you can see how well the paint job is. And, Sonic, you're going to have to move, buddy. I'm sorry. As you can tell, the paint job on this figure is actually quite beautiful. It's a great looking accessory. Like, you see how the stars are mostly centered and stuff like that. And, like, the paint on these little bars right here are really good. They're very clean. Like, no overpaint. It's not sticking or anything. And it doesn't chip or anything like that when you pull it out. While with the bootleg, however, the paint job isn't going to be all that great. Like, the stars are going to probably be more down. They're going to be more sloppy. And, like, these right here, it's going to be, like, some of the paint is going to, like, click together, and this thing is going to warp very easily, and they don't click into these as easily, at least mine didn't. And also, if you take a look at these little stickers right here, like, you can see how well they look, but if you get the bootleg ones, they're going to be more blurry, more dull, like, they're just not going to be as clean. However, with Sonic, this is still a real one, by the way, so heads up. Anyway, however, with the bootleg figure itself, it's actually not too bad. It's probably made out of lead paint, so don't let your kids eat it, for one. Two, however, the paint will chip, especially on the chest. It's mainly, it's just the chest that will come off real easily. Everything else, it is painted really well. It's just the belly is just gonna chip off a little bit. But if you're good with painting, you'll be good. Unfortunately, I'm not very good with painting. I tried painting a girl's nails once, and that ended up being a freaking disaster, and I felt so bad for her. But whatever, you're still gonna have a decent figure. But unfortunately, the figure will wear out over time. It's not gonna hold on to its poses really well. Like, you'll have them be holding the Chaos Emerald, and the arm will fall off. So it's gonna be good for like maybe a month, and then it's gonna wear out, and you're not gonna have a good time. However, there are some ways you can try to fix it. Like, you can add super glue, so it pretty much adds another layer of plastic, so it makes the joint tighter. But that's just what I recommend. So long story short, if you have the money to get a genuine one, I do recommend getting the genuine one, because it's gonna be that much worth it. And I've had this thing for a few years, and as you can tell, it's holding on really well. Like, it's not wearing down. Like, it's a great figure. But if you don't really like somebody and they want the figure, just get them a bootleg. I don't care. You do what you want. And that pretty much concludes my review on this figure. Pretty much, if you have the money, pick it up. Pick up a genuine one, because it's a great figure. And if you're new and you like what you saw, then like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And also let me know in the comments, are you willing to dish out over $100 to pick up this figure? If you do want to pick up this figure, be sure to look through the description on eBay or Amazon or anything really close, because if it's coming from Hong Kong, Taiwan, China, or anything like that, then you probably don't want to go for it. But they also mentioned how it's made out of PVC, then you also might not want to go for that one as well. If it's $80, $90 to $100, then it's probably accurate. It's probably right. But if it's a US or a Japanese seller, specifically look out for the Japanese sellers, then those are the ones you want to go for. But again, you're gonna have to pay a hefty price. If it's over $100, then it might as well be a freaking genuine. but over $100 is kind of a little much in my opinion, but it really is a good figure. I do recommend it, but I personally want to spend $90 to $100 for this figure. I'm happy that I got it for the price that I got it for, and I feel so sorry for those who didn't pick it up in time. Also, let me know in the comments, what do you think about me doing re-reviews of these figures? Because if you want me to keep doing these, I'll be more than happy to keep going with them. Like, next ones I might do are probably stuff like Figma Link, maybe the SH Figuarts Naruto and Mario and stuff like that. But pretty much figures that I've covered a long time ago, I'll be more than happy to redo. And I kind of want to do a review on the Play Art Sora, like from Kingdom Hearts 2, because I finally got a genuine version of that, so I can finally do a good review for that one. Just let me know in the comments and I'll get on it. I'm not sure if I mentioned this because I feel like a zombie when I always do this kind of stuff, because I'm always constantly saying it. But follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter if you're not already. Links will be in the description. Also, if you go on my Instagram, I've done pictures of this a long time ago, and the quality of the pictures, it probably isn't all that great anymore, because they're back on like my 4th gen iPod. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But like, my creativity when I had the figure was absolutely through the roof, so I had a great time with it. I do honestly recommend you check out my Instagram if you like this Nendoroid Sonic. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comments, are you going to be picking up a genuine one? And if you already have one, let me know what you think of it. You pretty much let me know what you think overall with the figure in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.